Scott, you and I jumped into early access in the world of Enshrouded. This is one I've been having my eye on for a while. Here's my thing. I love some of these games when they hook you properly. And Enshrouded, dude, is one people don't want to miss out on. This is fun. You go out, you gather resources, you come back, you build. From there, you go out and experience these little fogged areas of Enshroud, which then sets you on this time limit of how long you're allowed to be in this enshrouded area. Hence Enshrouded, right? So this fog is like poisoning you. You have a 5-minute countdown, get in, gather resources, get out. Amongst all this is other little story bits that are tossed around the world with lore. You can find little world elements of like notes left behind in encampments, things along that line. You go out and away you go. You bring back people to your base, which is kind of where I'm like, man, I'm glad I really took the time to build my home base, because now I got a blacksmith there who's helping me build up my armor, build out this, build out that. And it just, dude, it was a snowball effect after the 6 hours of me building this house.
Well, that is quite a testimony on its own there. You did get swept up for hours and hours building huge crew quarters and stuff for your eventual blacksmith and city to build. But I wonder how much city there is building to this, because the story kind of strikes me similar as, this is a way back deep cut, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Okay, now there's a miasma that has taken the earth, or the world, whatever it's called, and you have to kind of beat back that miasma, but with crystals in that case. In this game, it's somewhat similar with the flame, and producing little spots that you can build little towns on, and that seems to be the main drive of this game, is to push through that Enshrouded, and that's where I had some fun, because I'm incredibly underpowered, incredibly weak. I have a little sword, and running through that Enshrouded in little 5-minute increments was fun. That's where I enjoyed the exploration. But we get into some of the crafting and stuff, and again, this is, well, it's a crafting game. It's a survival game through and through. But I didn't find it frustrating at all. In fact, it was kind of gratifying making some of these new buildings, just finally figuring out how to lay the actual land down. I didn't get nearly as far as you did in that regard.
No, I've been down a rabbit hole and a half, man. Like, this game is just ate up so much of my time, but in the best way possible. Like, I've loved all the... Dude, I go to bed. So I'm fortunate enough to have my Logitech G Cloud with me. So I'll go to bed and play it in handheld mode. Which, granted, this, if you don't know, is early access on PC, but it's coming to consoles. This is where things get a little sticky, because the building in the console side of things, when you're using a controller, because you can hook up your controller to this, is a little janky. It does need some work, some fine tuning. I found it was missing parts when I'm trying to like clip onto certain areas, and even that happens still on my PC when I'm playing that way as well. There's some moments building could use some fine tuning. Some of the textures could use some fine tuning. There's pop-ins happening here or there, right? So there's moments of like, okay, early access. You know what you're getting into, right? You're just helping build the foundation of this game moving forward. But the foundation, dude, it is solid. Really solid to see where Keen is able to take this, move it forward into the next phase. I can't wait. I've reached... Dude, so I saw... Here, the world's got terraforming. The world is huge. It is huge. I'm up this mountain, and I look over, and I want... Okay, my objective, I know, is actually to the right behind me. I don't care. I'm going this way. So I can't get to it because there's this big valley that I have to get down and then maybe make my way over. But there's this big rock face. And I went, wait a second. I got a pickaxe. Half hour goes by, Scott. I literally chipped my way right through the rock face to get to the other side. And as I bust out the other side, I find some loot, I find some gear, I die to an enemy. I'm like, crap. Back I go again. But it was just the opportunity of exploration that Enshrouded just hands to you and say, hey, go. There is a story, right? There you do have objectives to go do, unlock other people to bring back to your base, all that kind of stuff if you want to. But for me, man, let's party up and let's go, because you can get friends in this too with co-op, and away you go and explore and see what you find. And that's the highlight of Enshrouded, and I have loved every minute of my time, dude. It is so much fun.
Well, Drew, I think it's safe to say our time here has been a good one, but I do have some little hang-ups here. The climbing would have been well added. Being able to climb up some of these rock faces without being able to, it gets a little frustrating. But my biggest problem was that technical edge. I have about a 4-year-old, 5-year-old machine now at this point. I did have some crashing issues, but again, this is an early access game. And there was a patch that went live just today, and it really does seem to have resolved the issues. So my issues aside, I do still recommend this game. How about yourself?
Man, I absolutely loved it. That's why I said 12 hours in, I feel like I'm just getting started. There's so much for the world left for me to explore and to see what happens next. I did have some wolves, like, getting hooked up on rocks. But again, right, it's just one of those things, early access. Things will get patched. Hopefully things will be a little bit smoother in the end. Dude, I have to recommend it. 12 hours in, it's just the beginning. But I've loved from minute 1 to minute 12 hours. Like, it's been awesome.